Welcome to NextGear, your hub for horsepower, history, and heart-pounding carnage on wheels. Today we dive into the 1970s, an era of horsepower hegemony threatened by gas crises and smog checks. Yet amid the turmoil bloomed icons so powerful, they still echo today. In this video, we will be breaking down 11 of the fastest American cars of the 70s, one by one. Buckle up, hit subscribe, and brace for an adrenaline ride. Number 1. Dodge Challenger RT 426 HEMI 1971. The 1971 Dodge Challenger RT with the legendary 426 HEMI wasn't just a muscle car, it was a rolling ultimatum. Officially rated at 425 horsepower, many believe it actually cranked out over 500, with dyno tests and drag strip folklore backing the claim. This 3,650-pound beast could rocket from 0 to 60 in around 5.2 seconds and tear through the quarter mile in the low 13s, all thanks to its hemispherical combustion chambers that delivered earth-moving torque. Every stoplight felt like a launch pad. Visually, the Challenger was unmistakable. Mopar orange paint, bold stripes, and that throaty exhaust note made it both menace and masterpiece. But it wasn't all brawn. The design struck a balance with broad fenders, a sleek roofline, and a commanding stance, while the interior offered rally gauges and comfortable bucket seats for a surprisingly refined ride. On the drag strips of America, the Challenger's chassis earned legendary status, feared and respected on the US 1320 circuit, winning races and breaking necks. Even decades later, its HEMI V8 is one of the most prized engines among restorers and retro mod builders across the globe. The 1971 HEMI Challenger didn't just represent speed, it defined an era where muscle met myth. Number 2. Plymouth Superbird 1970. Meet the 1970 Plymouth Superbird, a car so outrageous it forced you to stare. Built as a homologation special for NASCAR, it wore one of the most radical aerodynamic suits ever seen on American roads. That towering rear wing wasn't just for show, it generated serious downforce at high speeds and stood tall enough to double as a picnic table. Up front, the wind-cheating nose cone sliced the air, helping the car achieve speeds north of 200 on NASCAR tracks. Under the hood, a fire-breathing 426 HEMI pushing 425 horsepower, launching the car from 0 to 60 in the mid-5-second range. But this wasn't just a straight-line bruiser. The Superbird was engineered for velocity and control at triple-digit speeds. Only around 1,920 were ever produced across all colors, making it a unicorn on the collector market. Its outrageous design was more than a gimmick. It became a symbol of Chrysler's aero ambitions, influencing future racing and performance cars. On the superspeedways, it was a dominant force, piloted by legends like Richard Petty and setting a template for the fusion of style and speed. Today, the Superbird isn't just a car, it's a rolling history, a wind tunnel-tested relic that still turns heads and wins hearts. Number 3. Chevrolet Chevel SS 454 LS6 1970. In 1970, Chevrolet fired back hard in the muscle car wars with the Chevel SS 454 LS6, a no-nonsense powerhouse that earned a place among the fastest American muscle cars ever built. At its core was a monstrous 7.4-liter V8, churning out a factory-rated 450 horsepower and mountains of torque, translating to a ferocious 0 to 60 time of 5.4 seconds and a quarter mile in the low 13s. This wasn't a smooth cruiser, it was a street-legal sledgehammer. With heavy-duty rear-leaf springs, stiffer suspension, and sticky tires, the Chevel didn't coddle, it attacked. Even at nearly 3,900 pounds, it launched with authority, leaving its mark on every streetlight and drag strip. Its design was pure, classic muscle. Bold stripes across the hood and trunk, dual exhausts thundering in stereo, and a stance that screamed unfiltered power without relying on wings or flashy gimmicks. The LS6 Chevel didn't need theatrics. It let its big block roar do the talking. Over time, it became a living legend, showing up in barn finds, dominating collector auctions, and inspiring modern retro mod builds. In the golden era of American horsepower, the LS6 Chevel was a brutal, beautiful heavyweight champion. Number 4. Buick GSX Stage 1, 1970. Rolling out of Detroit's luxury division with a chip on its shoulder, the 1970 Buick GSX Stage 1 proved that muscle could wear a suit and still throw a knockout punch. Beneath its refined lines sat a monstrous 455 cubic inch big block engine, officially rated at 360 horsepower, but delivering a staggering 510 pound-feet of torque. One of the highest torque figures of any muscle car era. That grunt translated to real-world performance. 0 to 60 in just 5.5 seconds and a quarter mile in 13.38. Astonishing for a full-size Grand Tour, tipping the scales on the heavier side. But Buick didn't stop at brute force. It loaded the GSX with heavy-duty suspension, dual exhausts, and standard forged internals to make sure it could handle the heat. Visually, it struck a balance between aggression and elegance with GSX rally stripes, a functional shaker hood, and a deluxe interior that catered to the more discerning muscle buyer. Unlike the more common Chevels and Mustangs, the GSX Stage 1 was rare even when new, making surviving examples prized among collectors and restorers today. It wasn't just about speed, it was about delivering torque with taste, and the GSX nailed that formula with muscle luxury swagger. Number 5. Pontiac Trans Am Ram Air 4, 1970. The 1970 Pontiac Trans Am Ram Air 4 wasn't just a muscle car, it was a statement, combining raw power with unmistakable style. Under the hood sat a 400 cubic inch V8 rated at 370 horsepower, but with high-flow cylinder heads, a wild camshaft, and a close ratio 4-speed, it performed like a much more potent machine, hitting 0 to 60 in just 5.4 seconds and laying down quarter miles in the low 13s. Visually, it was impossible to miss. The iconic shaker scoop, functional dual snorkel air inlets, and aggressive stance made it a muscle car with serious attitude. But Pontiac didn't just build a straight-line bruiser, they gave it the hardware to corner too, with beefed-up sway bars, performance-tuned suspension, and wide tires that made it as capable on winding roads as it was at the drag strip. It was a rare blend of track-ready engineering and street charisma, a true hybrid of performance and flair. The Trans Am Ram Air 4 quickly earned a spot in pop culture royalty, boosted by edgy ad campaigns, celebrity ownership, and eventual stardom in Smokey and the Bandit. Today, it's not just a collector's dream, it's a lasting icon of American horsepower with unmatched personality. Number 6. Ford Boss 429, 1970. The 1970 Ford Mustang Boss 429 wasn't just built, it was engineered with one purpose: to dominate NASCAR. At its heart was a monstrous 429 cubic inch V8 with HEMI-style aluminum cylinder heads, high lift cams, and a factory rating of 375 horsepower, though real-world torque figures pushed past 450 pound-feet. Despite weighing nearly 4,200 pounds, the Boss 429 could tear through the quarter mile in the mid-13-second range, thanks to its race-bred internals and brutally efficient power delivery. But what truly set it apart was how it was made. Each Boss 429 came from a special production program, with modified Mustang fastbacks assembled by Carcraft to house the massive engine, complete with hand-fitted shock towers and race-spec parts pulled straight from Ford's high-performance build lines. With just around 350 units produced, each one wore a unique NASCAR-inspired rolling block nameplate. It wasn't just a showroom Mustang, it was a street-legal homologation special, created solely to get Ford's HEMI-style V8 onto the track. Today, Boss 429s are rarer than most HEMIs, prized by collectors not just for performance, but for their raw mechanical character. Massive scoops, thunderous exhaust notes, and an aggressive stance that gives it an unmatched presence in Mustang history. It's not just muscle, it's Ford's most mythical machine. Number 7. Ford Boss 351, 1971. Often overshadowed by its heavyweight sibling, the Boss 429, the 1971 Ford Boss 351 deserves serious respect as one of the sharpest muscle machines of its time. Lighter, tighter, and more agile, It packed a 351 cubic inch Cleveland V8 pushing 330 horsepower, enhanced by Ram air induction and high revving internals that delivered sharp throttle response and a quarter-mile time around 13.8 seconds. But straight-line speed wasn't its only party trick. Thanks to a reinforced chassis, Z-bar clutch linkage, upgraded suspension, and a rally-bred mindset, the Boss 351 carved corners with precision rarely seen in muscle cars of the era. It was a true driver's car, offering not just speed but control, and its distinctive growl made every gear change an event. Ford engineers tuned it for a perfect middle ground, serious performance with real-world drivability, creating what many now consider the best handling classic Mustang ever built. Though it didn't get the same spotlight as the 429, the Boss 351 became a cult favorite among enthusiasts, a true sleeper hero with track-ready hardware hiding behind its clean pony car lines. In today's collector world, it stands tall as a balanced brute that proved muscle could be both fast and finesse-filled. Number 8. Ford Torino Cobra 429 1970. The 1970 Ford Torino Cobra 429 was Ford's bold move to inject big block muscle into its midsize platform, delivering 370 horsepower of raw V8 power wrapped in a sleek, refined design. It didn't shout like some of its muscle car rivals. Instead, it wore a cleaner, more corporate look with fastback lines and subtle Cobra badging. But under the hood, it was all business. The 429 cubic inch engine brought serious torque, turning the Torino into a tire-shredding machine with real street presence. It struck a rare balance: performance when you stomped on it, and style when you didn't have to. The result was a muscular yet mature ride that still turns heads among collectors today. Number 9. AMC Rebel the Machine 1970. AMC shocked the muscle car world with the Machine, a no-nonsense brute powered by a 390 cubic inch V8, making 390 horsepower, launching it to 60 mph in just about 6.4 seconds. It wasn't pretty by classic standards. Some called it the ugly duckling of the era, but that bold red, white, and blue paint scheme and bulging hood scoop made a loud statement. This underdog meant business. With piston-pounding power and a stripped-down blue-collar attitude, the Machine carved out a cult following. It proved that AMC, the scrappy underdog, could throw down with Detroit's biggest and punch well above its weight. Number 10. Chevrolet Camaro SS 396 1970. The Camaro SS 396 marked a turning point for Chevrolet, bringing big block muscle into the sleek, compact Camaro package with serious intent. Under the hood was a 396 cubic inch V8, pushing 375 horsepower, launching this street fighter down the quarter mile in around 13.6 seconds. But it wasn't just about straight-line speed. The SS 396 delivered a visceral, agile driving experience that defined the Camaro identity. Bold, aggressive, and built to perform. With sporty trim, unmistakable lines, and that deep, big block rumble, it gave Chevy fans the muscle they craved in a package that looked as fast as it felt. Number 11. Plymouth Roadrunner HEMI 1970. The 1970 Plymouth Roadrunner HEMI was muscle in its purest form. No frills, just fury. Packing a 425 horsepower 426 HEMI under the hood, it launched from 0 to 60 in about 5.6 seconds and blasted through the quarter mile in the low 13s. It wasn't about luxury or flash. It was built for fun, flow, and full-throttle torque. With its iconic beep-beep horn, cartoon badging, and raw mechanical might, the HEMI Roadrunner captured the spirit of the street racer. Loud, fast, and unapologetically wild. It was Detroit muscle stripped to its core, and all the better for it. The early 70s marked a dramatic shift. Wild horses locked down, thanks to CAFE, oil shocks, insurance surges, and emissions mandates. The pony era ended in horsepower slowdown by 1974. Yet these 11 machines remain symbols of one powerful moment in history: engineering, bravado, and raw asphalt adrenaline. Today, restoration and custom setups keep these legends alive. Retrofitted with modern safety, comfort, and performance, but never losing the roar. Which muscle icon revs up your heart? The Challenger's brute throwdown, the Superbird's aero extremism, the racer-born boss 429 edge? Let us know below. Like this video if you felt the rumble, subscribe to NextGear for deep dive restorations, behind-the-scenes track days, and more torque-rich content. Until next time, keep that pedal floored.